Obviously, there have been a lot of school shootings throughout the country over, well, this year, the last year. It seems like you can't go more than a few days without hearing about them. Now, recently, numbers came out from one of the advocacy groups called Everytown for Gun Safety, saying that there had been 74 since Sandy Hook Elementary, the shooting there, which would equate to about 1 per week, which is obviously a very shocking number. Now, I did not come out of hearing those numbers or out of the experience with UCSB and the Seattle shooting and think, maybe they're being a little bit too liberal with how they define that, but some people did. And so we're going to look at the different ways that it's been defined and look at one media outlet that's being very irresponsible when it comes to school shootings. Now, Everytown defined it as any incident in which a firearm was discharged inside a school building or on school or campus grounds, as documented in publicly reported news accounts. This includes assaults, homicides, suicides, and accidental shootings. Now, immediately after this information came out, pro-gun groups and bloggers attacked it, saying that they're being way too liberal with what they count as a school shooting. We expect them to do that. They have a bias that they are going to advance in their writings. But one group, CNN, has bowed to the pressure from pro-gun advocates and has cut the number that they are now reporting of school shootings during that time from 74 down to 15, cutting a significant, I believe it's 85% out of it. Now, they're saying that a school shooting is only when a minor or adult actively shooting inside or near a school. It should not include personal arguments, accidents, and alleged gang activities and drug deals in its numbers. Which I think is insane.
But why wouldn't it include those things? Like,
this is CNN.
So we're going to take out all the school shootings that we think make sense?
Yeah. When a violent person goes to a school and starts shooting people, he was in a gang, so let's not count it.
Right. Only the violent shootings that don't make any sense, that seem so crazy, we'll count those. Look, this is the argument that they bought into. Conservative journalist Charles C. Johnson said this as to why the others shouldn't count. It's not a school shooting when someone goes and shoots a specific person on campus. It's a shooting that happens to take place at school. Really?
Yeah.
That's the argument you bought into?
And then he
that a shooting that happens to take place at school is not a school shooting.
Yeah. Well, they also don't want to count if somebody brings a gun to school, and it accidentally goes off or something like that. No, that's still a school shooting. You shouldn't have guns on campus.
If the shooting happens if the gun goes off in the building, that happens to be a school,
I'd call that a school shooting.
I would call it a school shooting.
So under that UCSB shooting, that wouldn't count because he wasn't a minor, right?
I suppose so.
Right. No, it's a minor or adult.
Yeah. Minor or adult.
Yeah.
But what was the rule?
It's complicated. John, what was
So they're saying that it's only when a minor or adult actively shooting inside or near a school, perhaps they would still include that.
Okay.
But minor or adult shooting actively inside a school, that's gang violence, that's personal shootings. They're actively shooting inside a school.
Yeah. And by the way, he was actively targeting people when he wasn't inside a school. He wasn't really even on campus. He was on a fraternity. By that, it might not even count.
In close by. Look, this is a symptom of a problem that we've been trying to show you as often as we can amongst most mainstream news outlets, but especially CNN, where their idea of what's fair and what's unbiased leads them to be insane almost every day. And they're so desperate for ratings coming out of the Flight 370 thing. What do they think, that conservatives are going to switch over from Fox News to watching them if they're a bit more pro-gun by denying the reality of school shootings? This is what they've come to.
It's absolutely Orwellian, So, I've said this many times in the past. If CNN, with their mantra of neutrality, not objectivity, but neutrality, we're neutral to everything, right? Well, if the gun guys say a shooting in a school is not necessarily a school shooting, we're neutral, right? If they covered sports, every game would be a tie. So the Spurs kicked the Heat's ass the last couple of games, right? CNN would be like, well, is it really a basket if the ball goes in the basket? Yeah, that's how you count it, right? But they're like, but the Heat really vociferously complained that we have a pro-Spur bias.
We got a tweet, and so we're going to back off from that. It's not like, Keeping Up with the Kardashians wasn't accurately telling us what she shopped for. Like, this is important. This is how we're supposed to prepare people to go out there and engage politically with other citizens. That's how they're supposed to choose people to vote for, people to represent them. And we're expecting them to go out there. we're giving them no information or actively giving them disinformation. And then is it any wonder that Americans are at least apathetic about politics and at worst grossly misinformed and don't know what the hell they're talking about?
So the question becomes, for me, is so when we have the next school shooting, because we will have another one until we get rid of the NRA and deal with our gun safety issues, like when CNN decides to go wall to wall with it, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
Well, this is not really a school shooting. It just happens to be a person in a school that has shot a gun. But it's not a school shooting. We just want to let you know.
It might be gang related.
And we will,
the thing is, though, is that the cowardly thing is, and I'm glad you brought that up, is they can say that these ones in the past weren't school shootings. They would never have said it at the time. They were never going to say to the parents, oh, calm down, this wasn't really a school shooting. And the group Everytown pointed out that in most cases, when CNN reported on the school shootings that they don't consider school shootings, they called them school shootings.
Oh, they went wall to wall. They canceled all other shows.
Yeah, they want the ratings at the time.
And they'll want them in the future.
24 hours.